Hello friends, welcome to the channel. This is Stormhaven Gaming, I'm John, and this is Timberborn, and you might notice that we have a slight issue. We have 22 buildings lacking workers, and our bots aren't doing anything. So there's obviously been an update that has reset all of the bot settings for all of the buildings. So I'm going to have to go around and reset all of these. That'll be fun. And I'm bound to miss at least one, aren't I? So give me a few minutes to do that, and then I'll be back with you. Okay, I've gone around and I think I've changed everything that was bot operated back to bot operated. We only have 7 available bots, so that's a decent sign. I mean, it's not a great sign because it means we've only got 7 available bots. But we're up to 41 available beavers, which is slightly higher than I was expecting. So I'm going to turn off another one of these breeding pods, because that's climbed a lot higher than I remember it. It could be that I've replaced something else that was beaver operated with bots, but don't know. Genuinely don't know. Anyway, with all that aside, we are continuing with our little job over here of leveling all of this. I need to get a path out here. So that we can reach all of these explosives. There we go. Because there's another couple of nubbins here that we need to get rid of. As I said, I have some plans as to what I want to do with this bad water here. Well, I mean, we've got the fresh water and the bad water. I'm thinking about dropping the bad water into a tunnel that just dumps it off of the side here. And we can go pretty deep on that. We can take it right down to the bottom level and then cut through this way, I think. I need to figure out how the tunnel explosives work. Haven't unlocked them yet. We'll see. We'll give that a go. But yeah, I think dropping that down into tunnel and just dumping it off the side of the map is probably the best thing to do with that. We don't really need it meeting up with anything else. And if we can drop it right down and send it through, we can probably avoid any contamination on the surface. We'll have to see about that. And if we do get contamination, I have an idea that there might be something we can do about that as well. So yeah. As to the fresh water, again, not entirely sure, but let's get these explosives set off, shall we? Whoops, let's try and get it in frame. There we go, there's one. And there's the other 2. Okay, so we now have it nice and level up here. Oops. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? Right, we have it nice and level up here. Obviously, we want to expand to the edge. We want to sort of fill this area in as well, and we want to connect up to this area over here. So, I think we should probably start spreading out this way. That's probably the best thing to do, is it? Or should we come this way? No, let's come this way first. That seems to be the best way to do it. So we'll lay in just the first section here, because that'll take them a few days to get done. And remembering that we want to encase our tubeway. There we go. That'll do for the moment. Let them get on with that. We've got over 800 dirt in stock, so that they should be able to get through all of that without any problems. Have we got any problems with any of these resources? Dynamite, we need a little bit more. Other than that, we're absolutely fine. We're pretty much full on everything. That means, for the most part, around 1,000 storage for things. So yeah, we're pretty good there. All right. I'll spin on for a few more days then through the bad tide. I'll probably come back in a couple of days to update you on what I've decided to do. Okay, very brief update. I did miss something. I missed all of these bad water pumps. But they are now bot operated as well, and we have no spare bots. So, yay. 5 days left of the bad tide then. We are making some progress with our dirt over here. I did give them a bit of a break and made them build some roofs over here on top of these houses. So we've got some rooftops and a rooftop terrace up here to give them a little bit more entertainment. So that's nice. Just prettying the place up for them a little bit, although there's a lot of rubble around that they could be clearing, but I don't think we've got any storage for it. But yes, we are making slow progress. There's obviously a lot of dirt needed for all of these. Each one of these takes, I think, 6 dirt to make. So there's quite a lot there. We're down to 500 in storage. I'll probably give them a break after this lot is completed to allow that to build back up again. It doesn't take long. We've got 2 of these dirt extractors going, so it doesn't take very long to fill back up. Yeah, everything else is going smoothly, I think. We're back up to 4 spare bots because we've got... Where are we? Both of our bot part factories on. We're up to 54 beavers unemployed again. I'm not going to turn off another breeding pod just yet. I want to see what that does. It's really difficult trying to sort of strike a balance with the iron teeth, with the breeding pods. We'll have to see what we can do about that. We don't want it to be too high, but we don't want it to be too low either. I reckon around... Currently, I reckon around 130... sorry. 185 beavers is probably about fine. So around 20 spare is what I'm thinking. No, hang on. 130. Yes, I was pretty much right the first time. 130 odd beavers is what we want to be aiming at, really. So we've only got about 20 spare. That's what I was looking at. I looked at the wrong number and it confused me. But I was right the first time. Right-ish the first time. I was also thinking about down here, because all of these are bot operated as well, even though we very rarely turn any of these on, it might be worth getting a control tower somewhere down here, but yeah, quite where we'd fit one, I don't know. It would need to be... Oh, okay. So to cover all of the water pumps there, it would need to be about there. I mean, do I just stick it there, or do I put it on a platform? I mean, a platform is a waste of resources, but it would look better poking above the water, wouldn't it? Rather than submerged. So yeah, let's do that. Let's build a platform there. And we'll stick a control tower on top like that. How's that? Yeah, that can work. Okay. I'll spin on till the end of the drought then. As I say, we're not really doing anything at the moment apart from laying in this dirt. That's using all of our beavers at the moment. Yeah, I think I'm going to just let them get that done. Maybe lay in the next one. What are we looking at? 435 dirt. Probably not going to be enough to do the next stretch. No, I will give them a break for a day or two to let that dirt build up. Yeah, and I'll come back at the end of the bad tide. There we go. The bad tide is over. We did all right. Not too bad at all. Food and water-wise, we're still absolutely great. Just want to make sure that this does change over as the water clears. I feel like you're putting a bit too much in there. I mean, we're not oh no, we're flooding somewhere. Where are we flooding? Flooding down here again. Why? Why are you not opening? You are open. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's fine. It's okay. That'll flush through. Let's make sure those are set right. We'll set those to about 0.65. We will turn off our fluid dump there. Oops. No, come on. Come on, there we go. We'll set those to 0.8, which will release some of the water into there, and we'll set those to 1.8. That should be okay. We did all right. We didn't take a huge amount of water out of here. We only had the 2 pumps going, so we were never likely to. But it is now filling up again, and I've turned off those there. We're up to 13 bots now with those 2 added, so I'm going to turn off the second bot assembler for a while. Our population is still climbing. So I have turned off another breeding pod. Yeah. I'll tell you what I'm going to do as well. I am going to close those 3. So everything goes into this reservoir here, hopefully. Yeah. And that will help fill that back up again, because we did take quite a lot of water out of there. Over here, we've made a little bit of progress with our dirt wall. I'm just letting the dirt build back up again. It's already built up well over 200 since we stopped putting all that in, so that's good. I think I mentioned we put in some roofs over here on these lodges and a rooftop terrace for them as well. So they're getting a bit of an aesthetics boost there. Our well-being is at 64. Seems to be kind of hovering there at the moment, which is fine. That's about where we want it. Maybe a little bit higher would be nice, but it's not imperative. Okay. Okay. Right, we still have this water source over here to deal with, but we'll come back to that one. What I'm interested in at the moment is this one over here, and this is what I'm thinking to do. So we're going to obviously block this off here and feed it out into like a waiting room for the water there. Fresh water is going to go that way. Bad water will go this way. That will just be holes all the way down into an underground tunnel that is going to cart the bad water off over there. And then the clean water is going to come around here and do something. Just not sure what. I was thinking about having like a lake with an island in the middle with our repopulator on, and then houses, lodges around the edge of the lake with some other water-based recreational stuff. And then recreation just on the edge of that. But I don't really know. Obviously, we're going to need to use either plan it out well in advance so we know where not to lay the dirt in, or we're just going to need to come back in with explosives once we've figured out the plan. I think for me, it's going to be easier to lay the dirt in first, so I've got somewhere to actually sort of plan out what's going to happen. So the repopulator is how big? Oops, let's zoom in a little bit. So it's 7 by 7. All right, so a 7 by 7 island in the center, surrounded by water. Doesn't have to be particularly wide, maybe 2 or 3 wide, and then have that maybe flow off back this way. Yeah, we could do that, couldn't we? Have it sort of fill that area and then flow back this way, because that, I mean, we could cross it back over on itself a couple of times to give us fertilization in this area. Yeah, okay, that's not a terrible idea. All right, I'm going to continue laying in the dirt then. Obviously, we're not going to be building that anytime soon. We've got to lay in all the dirt around here first, which means, you know, pulling the dirt out of the ground. But we can get this sort of laid in, and then I can actually sort of figure out in my head where, oh dear, where we're putting everything. All right, let's just get this laid in, and then we'll delete that overhang there that I accidentally put in. There we go. Right. So they'll get on with that. Obviously, we're not going to be building any of this yet. We're going to wait until we've got a pretty clear idea of what I want. That might take some time, obviously. But yeah, we want a fairly fairly solid plan before we start building on that one. I still don't know how we're going to use these underground explosives. I know we can build from the top down, but I don't know necessarily how we're going to do it. We'll burn that bridge when we come to it. There we go. We are at a drought. 16 days isn't going to be a problem. I think everything's closed up where we need it to be. Should be fine. What I will do quickly, it's not going to do us a lot of good now, but I'll close those up as well, just to stop the remaining water that will be leaking out of here from draining out. Over here, yeah, we're pretty full. Pretty full. So full, in fact, that we had a little bit of spillage over here, but that's fine. Right, over here we have continued to expand our dirt. We are, again, filling back up with dirt, so that's not too much of a problem. That's good. I've extended the tubeway temporarily to allow us to come out to here to start building. And I've laid in some explosives. So, oops. We should probably set those off, shouldn't we? There we are. Okay, so that's going to be the start of our little area. So our sluices are going to go in here. So we can actually set those up to play, can't we? Yeah, they're going to go in there like that. And then, I think, we're just going to keep laying in tier 3 explosives down there until we reach the bottom. And then we'll have to figure out what on earth we're going to do after that. Because I have no idea how these tunnel explosives work. I'm sure we'll find out. It'll be fine. Okay, I'm going to lay in the next set of terrain blocks, I think. Just so that we can keep going with this. I really should set this to a slightly lower priority in case we're doing anything else, but it's fine. They'll get around to it when they get around to it. Oh dear. I keep dragging the cursor every time I put it down. So I'm always putting in these unintentional overhangs. There we go. Right. Oh, well, the explosives are already in, so let's get those set off as well, shall we? If I can get them on camera, as it were. Just the job. I don't really know how deep I need to go, but I think I'm just going to go down as far as we can. Which is quite a way. And then we'll try and figure out how we do all the rest of it. It may be that I need to demolish this and figure out a way to actually get down there so that we can build, but we'll see, I guess. It may need us to dig down, as I say, and then refill with dirt after we're finished, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, I mean, in terms of water, we're not going to have a problem, are we? We're pretty good here. We've even got a little bit in here that, as we drain this, should leak into the reservoir through the sluices. Yeah. All right, this is full. This was flowing, overflowing there. I think I'm going to shut those up and keep these two separate. Not that we necessarily need to, but, you know. And honestly, I could probably put some showers in along here, couldn't I? Where are we? Let me put some showers in across there. Why not? And honestly, I probably want to come in and get some explosives on there as well, don't I? Drop that down. Tell you what, let's cancel those. We will pop some steps down, and we'll put in some dynamite over here as well. Just to bring that little nubbin down to the same as everything else. Obviously, they're not going to get round to that for quite some time. But that's fine. We've not laid in the explosives. I can't see. It's too far down. No, haven't laid in the explosives yet. All right. So I'll spin on then for a few days of the drought. And we'll see how well we do. Okay, we've reached the bottom of the map there, so we can't build any more explosives down. But we also can't build any of these explosives because we can't reach. So we can't build down for those. Which means it's probably worthless trying to actually use them in this space, isn't it? Yeah, we can't build them anywhere other than the surface, so that doesn't seem very useful to me, honestly. Again, maybe I'm using them wrong. You'll undoubtedly let me know in the comments, but we'll just for the moment do it the old-fashioned way. Lay in explosives. We'll bring all of this down to the bottom, and then we'll fill up again using dirt on top of that. Yeah, that's what we're going to have to do there. Day 14, 10 days left of the drought. We have dug ourselves a trench here. And what I'm going to do, if I can figure it out, is I'm going to stick an overhang there. I think that's going to go all the way down, or most of the way down. Yep, there we go. And I want to... Oh, this is really difficult to see what I'm doing. I'll tell you what, let's do it the easy way, shall we? There we go. That's what we're doing. Right. Now, I did think I was going to leave just a one wide gap for the water to come down, but would 2 be better? I mean, it's going to be enclosed, so we shouldn't get any spillage. I mean, we can use dynamite to get rid of it if necessary, can't we? Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so that's what we're building there. And we are basically just going to carry on and build that all the way up to the top. Hopefully without leaving any big gaps, but we'll do what we can. Now, obviously, this is a bit of a waste of the dirt that we have, because we've literally just used dynamite to get rid of it, but without being able to figure out how those tunnel explosives work, I think you have to be basically at the level, your beavers have to be at the level that you want them to start the tunnel at. I think that's how they're supposed to work, which, you know, makes sense. Alright. Okay, so just 2 more on there. Oh no, just that. That's it. That's it. We're good. Okay, right. So yes, a lot of tunneling to do there. It doesn't look like I've missed any. just a sort of cursory glance. I think we're going to be okay there. Right. That's that. We'll obviously need to test it. And once that's laid in, we'll carry on with the laying the dirt in around there. Everything else appears to be going okay. No problems with food or water, obviously. And all of our resources over here seem to be building up nicely. We're not making a huge amount of science at the moment. That's not climbing very quickly at all, but I mean, we don't really need science for anything other than these control towers. So as long as that's not dropping, I'm kind of okay with it at the moment. We need 20,000 to unlock the repopulator. Yeah, we're good. We're good. So for the moment, I'm just going to spin on. Okay, day 18. We've got 6 days left of the drought. We're doing absolutely fine. We're about 2/3 of the way through getting this filled in again, I reckon. So we're not doing too badly there. We're not doing much elsewhere. We're letting them get on with that. Yeah, I've not really done anything at all, honestly. I have had a look at our science. It doesn't look like it is climbing, but it is. We're currently increasing our science by about 180 a day. So yeah, it is increasing. I mean, we don't need a huge amount because obviously we are using what we're using and we're producing what we're producing. We don't need to unlock a huge amount else, honestly. We've got most of what we need, I think. Gravity batteries, but they're only 400. Yeah, a few bits of decoration, but again, minimal cost. And 20,000 for that. We've got the deep mechanical fluid pump, which we might use. But again, it's only 2,500 science. 150 for the stream gauge if we bother to unlock it. I never have before. 400 for the large barracks. Yeah, it's minimal. Absolutely minimal. I think we're going to be fine. I don't think we need another number cruncher unless I wanted to close down these inventors' huts and replace them with another number cruncher. I could do, but our population is still rising. We only have... Yeah, still only have 5 of these breeding pods on, but that population just will not drop. Yeah. Amazing. Couldn't have enough... couldn't get enough beavers to start with all of those pods active, and now we've got far too many and we can't drop our population. Strange, isn't it? Okay, I'm just going to continue spinning on. We do have plenty of water everywhere. We're barely touching this reservoir here. The only drop in this reservoir has been demolishing those couple of blocks in the corner there. So we're basically down like 3/4 of a tile, something like that. So that's fine. We have used all of our water over here, so it might be worth turning on a couple of these pumps, but we'll give it a couple of days and see how we do. And the drought is over. Again, we did absolutely fine. I did turn on... oh, that should be okay there. I did turn on a couple of these water pumps for the last couple of days, so we drained a little bit more out of these reservoirs than just evaporation, but we've done absolutely fine. That will refill no problem. Everything else is going absolutely fine. Plenty of resources right across the board as usual. So, what are we doing then? Well, I'm currently laying in the next set of dirt blocks along here. We have a decent amount because I laid off putting any more in for a little while. Over here, oops, let's get an angle we can actually see what we're doing, shall we? There we go. So this is my idea. So the bad water will obviously be dumped into that hole and just chucked off the map through our little tunnel there. The fresh water will come this way. These will be sluices here. The fresh water will come this way through a 1 deep channel drop down into a 2 deep moat around here, and then feed out again through a 1 deep channel this way. Obviously we're going to demolish this bit of tubeway here, and we'll lay it in a bit more properly at a later date. Yeah, that's what we're thinking. And the monument here will sit nicely just there. Obviously I need to delete the paths. They were just to mark things out. There we go. And in theory, this will now sit nicely just in the centre there. And we'll have a little bridge across that way. So yeah, that's my plan. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know what we're going to do with it after that, obviously. As I said, I did think about bringing it out and then sort of crossing back this way to irrigate all of this, which I think is probably a good idea. Because obviously this bit won't be irrigated beyond sort of, I guess, here. From the water turning around this way instead. This should irrigate quite a lot of what's left here. Not all of it. It will probably come out to, once all this is the same height at least, probably come out to about here. But that's not terrible. But yeah, that's the plan. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I think it'll work. And then obviously we're going to be putting housing around the edge. Along with a few bits of recreation like showers, a swimming pool, that kind of thing. We might need a bit, well, we will need a bit of extra space for a swimming pool, but we'll work on that when we get to it. Although it might be worth putting a swimming pool out here instead to get a bit more fertilization on this side. Yeah, that's probably what we'll end up doing, I think. Is having sort of the odd swimming pool around the edge just to spread that fertilization. Yeah, alright. And then we'll have to think about what we're going to do with the water. For the moment, we could just sort of dump it into this channel here and let it flow off. But I'd rather get it sort of winding through all of this. Yeah. I'd much rather it was winding through the landscape and providing a little bit more hydration here and there. Well, that's something to work on when we get there. That's some way away yet. Obviously, we've got to lay in all of this dirt, get all of this up to the right level, and then lay in at least the start of this river exit strategy, you know. But again, let me know what you think in the comments. We are going to leave it there. So thank you very much for watching. Please do give us a like and a subscribe. It really does help the channel out. Please comment down below. That also helps. And please join us next time. That's the most important thing. Until then, I've been John. This has been Timberborn. Please do take care of yourselves. Stay safe. I don't know what angle to go for. Stay safe. And bye-bye.